Cameron, Ray Comfort, and Todd Friel.
This might be the single most underreported and most important story in evangelicalism this year. And I'm not kidding. This is Way of the Master Radio. Would like to invite you to find somebody you know who has decided to use one of the programs that has been promoted by perhaps the greatest organizing movement inside of evangelicalism. Bill Hybels and the folks at Willow Creek have come out with a confession. They've come out with an admission that must be heard if you are using one of their programs. So here's what I'd like to invite you to do right now. If you know somebody who is involved in one of those programs or is a supporter of that, they need to hear what you are about to hear next. So take a moment, call them, find them, get them near their radio, which is Way of the Master Radio. Now, have you had a chance to get somebody who is following a program out of the Westboro? No, that's not quite right. It's in Chicago. What's the name of the church? Bill Hybels. It's
Willow Creek.
Willow Creek. Now, this was delivered this summer, I believe, and I have to confess to you, I am surprised that this has not been reported more. Let me share with you a report that has come out from Bill Hybels himself, and from a fellow named Greg Hawkins. Greg Hawkins is one of the senior pastors there, who is responsible for the growth of churches and for coming up with these programs. And they've come out with a book called Reveal, Where Are You? And they have made an admission that is simply shocking, and frankly, everybody who is involved in one of their programs should hear about this. Now, you need to understand that the way that they go about determining what is successful or not in a church program is how many people are responding. Are people actually attending the church? Are they involved in programs? That is the way to simply go about measuring success. And that has been a model that many, many churches have adopted. In other words, how many people are just sitting in the pews? How many people are signing up for the programs? If there's more this week than last week, then it's a success. Please listen now to one admission from Greg Hawkins of Willow Creek.
The first thing that we learned is that increasing level of participation in these sets of activities does not predict whether someone's becoming more of a disciple of Christ. It does not predict whether they love God more or they love people more.
Whoa. Here's what happened at Willow Creek. This fellow, to his credit, said, "Hey, let's do some research. Let's find out if our programs are working." And so they decided to hold a spotlight up to their own programs, the program that says as long as people are involved, then we're being successful. But guess what? As the fellow just said, participation does not mean success at all. Whoa. Is your church following one of those programs? Have they decided to get into these programs because they work? The admission that I just heard, if I understand this fellow right, is they do not work. Programs do not work. And their response at Willow Creek?
Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've learned so much more, and all of what we're discovering is rocking our world here at our church.
I just have to stop right there. Did you hear that? If you're involved in a Willow Creek program, they are rocked right now as of the summer. They are rocked. Now, they have confessed, and you'll hear this too from Bill Hybels, that some of the things that they're doing seem to be working. But by measuring success through involvement is not right, and their world is rocked. Now, you'll have to decide this for yourself, but if their world is rocked, instead of traveling around and asking people to do more surveys, shouldn't they be saying to everybody, stop the presses?
And if it is true, then it has significant implications for you as a leader and for your congregation.
So, I agree completely. So shouldn't we just be stopping this whole thing called programs until we figure it out. Now, I could tell you, I have to confess, I think it's already been figured out, and it's found in the Bible. Nevertheless, at Willow Creek, this is, please, if you don't know, aren't aware of this, this is the most pervasive model that is used in evangelical Christianity. This is huge news. This is huge. Thousands of churches are following. Thousands of churches are following this, and they are saying, it's rocked our world. It's not working. Why doesn't everybody know about this? Why isn't this stopped? I am shocked. Now, this once again is Greg Hawkins, who has headed this up, and again, to his credit, at least they were willing to put the spotlight on it and admit it publicly. What is their response?
Is we need to ask different questions. We need to go beyond asking how many. We need to understand, are the things we're doing helping people grow in their intimacy with Christ? So it's okay to ask how many, but we need to go beyond that. We need to ask not just our staff members and our key volunteers what's working. We need to ask the participants themselves. And we need to deeply listen to what they tell us about what they need, what's working, and what's not working.
Excuse me. Isn't that how we got to this place in the first place? Isn't that exactly what the seeker-sensitive movement is? Let's survey people, let's listen to what their needs are, and give it to them? Well, I have to confess to you, I applaud their willingness to go public with this and confess that it's not working. Aren't they going to be just simply repeating the same error again by going out and doing the same methodology, the same surveying to try to determine how to do church? And isn't the answer instead found in the Bible, which is preach the word in season and out of season? Let me share with you the quote from Greg Hawkins. He said that we need to do more research. Hold on. Wait a second. Do more research and study the scriptures to find out what's working. No. No more research. No more research. That's pragmatism. Besides, that's man-made stuff. We need to be taking a look and see, what does the scripture say? Now, this is the man himself, Bill Hybels, who got up before a big group of people this summer at one of their conferences, and he shared the results of the survey. Once again, you can call and say, Friel, you're missing the point here and you're missing the mark. Okay, perhaps I am, but I don't want to judge a whole lot based on tone. But it seems to me this revelation that they made a mistake, that they were wrong, that millions of dollars have been spent, that it has failed, and it has been promoted amongst thousands of churches, would elicit a tone that sounds a little bit different than a board meeting where we simply announce that we're going to be shifting our paradigm.
We got thousands of responses to. The data came in. And then he and a team of people drove over to South Haven, where I was doing some studying, and I got the wake-up call of my adult life.
Now, that's his word. This is huge. This is huge.
Now, some of the data was wonderfully affirming of the stuff we're doing to help people grow. That actually helps people grow spiritually. Other parts of the data just ruined my day. And I told Greg and his team that they were ruining my day.
His day, thousands of pastors have signed on for this. Millions of people are being influenced by this.
And he started repeating one of his favorite lines, Bill, facts are your friends. Facts are your friends.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't think this is funny.
Put the gun away. And these other people said, we're only the messengers. And I reminded them of an era in history where leaders killed messengers if they didn't like the message. And I said, in Chicago, we're still in that era. But that survey just rocked my world. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to digest as a leader. Because some of the stuff that we have put millions of dollars in, thinking it would really help our people grow and develop spiritually, when the data actually came back, it wasn't helping people that much.
Have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? In your town, if it's more than 8 people in one First Baptist church on the corner of Main and Elm, there's churches in your town that are following this. And there are people who are doing these things, and it's not helping them.